Thank you. I appreciate you.
I voted somebody that won.
Thank
something.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You better win.
Thank you. We're on our way.
People just love Zohran Mamdani, and it is confounding a lot of politicians and media. So in this video, I'm going to get to the explanation why Mamdani is so popular. I'm also going to get to a great new video released by Zohran himself, and I'll also get to a hilarious new meme that was birthed out of a insane New York Times piece about him. So first, to set the stage here, I want to get to this clip from MSNBC's Morning Joe. This is the perfect marriage between the insanity of the media and politicians when they have on Tom Suozzi here. He's a Democrat representative of New York, and he has a new piece out in the Wall Street Journal that essentially says, well, Mamdani is a great lesson, but he's a bad example. We'll get to how stupid all of this is, but let me show you how Morning Joe frames this.
And why is it that in the Democratic Party, the three most compelling figures, the mayoral candidate, Bernie Sanders, and AOC, the three most compelling figures since the election have been far left of, let's say, the mainstream of a lot of Americans? Why can't moderate Democrats, why can't conservative moderate Democrats like you make that same compelling message?
I swear I'm having deja vu. We have gone through this for 10 years. 10 years I've been covering this same trash from Morning Joe and other shows like it, where they claim, oh, Bernie 2016, sure, he's popular, but it can't be because of his policies. Bernie 2020, same thing. AOC, same thing. On and on with any politician who is left of center. Oh, we got to grab this energy that they have, but not their policies. That is why they are popular. It's what they are fighting for that is popular. So this whole interview, I watched it. It was so infuriating because there's no specifics at all about what Tom Suozzi wants to do. It's just this general idea of, oh, we got to speak on kitchen table issues, which all politicians do. What matters is how you speak about those issues, what you're actually fighting for. So you could look at 10 plus years of data on this, but let's go to the most recent data I have. This is from YouGov Yahoo News, which asked all Americans, not just New Yorkers, about both Mamdani and his platform. So first off on him, Zohran himself, obviously, since it was just before his primary win, he wasn't yet a known figure nationally. So most people didn't know who he was, though he had a 22% favorable opinion, but 46% say they don't know what to think for obvious reasons. He wasn't well known. But you get to his actual platform. Asked whether they approve or disapprove of the following proposals to lower the cost of living, none of which were attributed to Mamdani. Americans approved by wide margins in every instance. So this is the Zohran platform. 62% approved of implementing free childcare for every child aged 6 weeks to 5 years, a plus 38-point margin. You have to understand, before I even read the rest of these numbers, there aren't many things that you can find consensus on in politics. But when it comes to issues like healthcare, childcare, taxing the rich, there are wide majorities for those things. Things that both Republicans and Democrats, in terms of Democratic establishment, are fighting against. They are unwilling to acknowledge that reality because it challenges them and the system. But you look at what is popular. This is why Zohran won his primary. 60% approved of freezing the rent for lower income tenants, a plus 38-point margin. 51% approved of creating a network of government-owned grocery stores focusing on keeping prices low rather than making a profit, a plus 20-point margin. You know, they were screaming from the rooftops, socialist. What if it helps people? Like, you can't fight against reality. You can try, and they have tried, and they will keep trying. But when these things get done and people see how it benefits their lives, there's no going back, which is why they are fighting him so hard now. 49% approved of raising the minimum wage to $30 by 2030, a 15-point margin, and 46%, there's more here, 46% approved of permanently eliminating the fares on public buses, a 10-point margin, and 65% approved of raising tax on corporations and millionaires to pay for these proposals, a 43-point margin. These are amazing majorities in favor of left-wing policy. That, again, none of this is mentioned by name on a show like Morning Joe. But the quick breakdown here, if you want the screenshot. Like, this is the platform. This is why Zohran won. Now, this also gets to, while Democrats are the most supportive, predictably so, Mamdani's policies still garner significant support among Republicans, with roughly 4 in 10 saying they approve of freezing the rent, implementing free childcare, and raising taxes on corporations and millionaires to foot the bill. This is popular not just with Democrats, because they'll often argue, well, sure, Zohran won New York because it's a deep blue city, and that, of course they're going to support that. No, this is stuff that would work across the board. This goes to why Bernie Sanders was so popular with independents, because he spoke to real issues that actually benefited everybody. And when people actually took a look at what he was fighting for, there was no argument against it. Now, this gets to the insane New York Times piece and the hilarious meme that came out of this. This was the piece released last week. Mamdani identified as Asian and African American on college application. So I am still trying to understand what the problem is here, considering Mamdani was born in Uganda. He's also of Indian descent. I'm trying to understand the issue here, but we'll get to the meme that came out of this. The deeper issue is what Common Dreams breaks down here, and there has been a lot of other reporting. Semaphore, I think, broke this story, but they write here, Mamdani told the Times that he checked the box on the application for Black or African American because he considered himself an American who was born in Africa. He emphasized that he does not identify as Black and argued that he found it difficult to express the complexity of his racial background given the options on the application. However, what is stirring controversy about the Times piece isn't so much its content, but the source of its information. So this gets to the insanity of that New York Times piece. A report from The Guardian's Jason Wilson, published earlier this year, shows that the Times is vastly underselling its sources' extreme views on race. As Wilson documented, the Cremu cited by the Times is a man named Jordan Lasker, whose writings regularly defend the work of race scientists who use IQ test results to argue that Black people are mentally inferior to other races. This was the source that the New York Times used to write that Mamdani hit piece. It is, I don't think people quite understand just how deep the rot is when it comes to fighting politicians that are trying to do good for people. You know, New York Times, of course, have done fantastic investigative work in the past and continue to do so. But it seems every time there's a politician, whether it's, a Bernie Sanders, an AOC, a Zohran Mamdani, the amount of hit pieces coming out of places like New York Times and Washington Post are incredible. It's important to understand that these outlets can still employ people that do good work and put out good work themselves. That doesn't mean everything they put out is something worth reading or listening to. And in the case of this piece, it really showcases just a massive hole in how the media operates and approaches politicians who are fighting for the working class. Now, this gets to the hilarious meme that came out of this, because people began to write their own New York Times pieces about Zohran Mamdani. This one here, Mamdani facing scrutiny about hating American football, sources say. Zohran Mamdani skipped high school homecoming to hang out in a parking lot with his friends. This one hit close to home. New York Times requesting comment from Zohran Mamdani after anonymous sources revealed his favorite Mario game is Sunshine. A game that I have to say I liked when it came out. Went back and played it last year. It does not hold up. But there's a whole meme generator now about this. This one's fantastic. Eric Adams questions Mamdani's commitment to serving interests of Turkey. Which, anyone that doesn't know the backstory there, Eric Adams was investigated for his ties to Turkey. And he's the guy running as an independent. I mean, he's the current mayor of New York, running as an independent against Zohran in the fall because he cannot win a Democratic primary. But you hit the button, it keeps giving you more. Free buses? Mamdani never rode a bus to school, records show. In Mamdani, some Democrats recoil at sight of popularity. Mamdani, B-list rapper, claims under fire as audio recordings reveal D-list talent. I can click this button all day. Some New York City voters skeptical of city-owned grocery stores cite low wages from for-profit grocery store job. And we could go on and on and on. There's some that I saved here. I thought they were good and worth mentioning. Full transcript. Mamdani told waitress, "You too," after she said, "Enjoy your meal." I've been there. And let's get now to the amazing clip that Zohran Mamdani released, and it shows you how much the people of New York City love this man.
Every take is gonna be. all right. That's slower than a tourist walks in Midtown. Okay. You want a photo, brother? Yeah. Yeah. Let's take one. Yes. That's me. Yes.
Excuse me, I need a picture.
Yeah. We can take one. Thank you. I appreciate you.
I voted somebody that wants
Thank
something.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You're one of us.
Thank you. We're on our way. Thank you. Yeah, no worries. Thank you. How's it going, guys? Thank you. You gotta catch up to me over here. How you doing, brother? Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you, my man. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Can I take one too, man?
Yeah, for sure. Hi. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? Ready? Okay. I think she's coming. Thank you.
I voted for you. You voted for ti.
Yes.
You voted for ti. Madonna, she said, voted for ti.
Thank you.
Give me one picture for
Yes.
Madonna.
Your back pocket.
Madonna.
Thank you. Thank you,
One
brother. I appreciate
picture.
it. No. Let's go. Here, I'll do it for you.
Okay.
I got you.
Camera.
Morning Joe and the right-wing Democrats they bring on cannot manufacture this authenticity. Mamdani is somebody who actually cares about people, is fighting for policies that showcase that, has, as somebody who's already worked in the city as a public official, has a record of fighting for people. There is both a track record, a platform, and a personality here that you can't simply try and imitate. Now, it would be nice if more politicians tried to imitate the platform, at least, and try to get a little closer to fighting for working class issues. But you're not going to try, you cannot fake this through right of center policies that some Democrats or I should say most Democrats and the leadership are pushing and continue to push despite what Trump is doing and his insanity. There has not been a coherent message put out that has been counter to that in any sort of meaningful way, except from places like Zohran Mamdani, Bernie Sanders, AOC. So a few reactions to that clip online here. David Hogg tweeted out, "No amount of money can buy what has made Zohran Mamdani such a powerhouse. Principles, authenticity, giving a shit about people, and just straight up riz. Simply posting on TikTok is not enough. You need to actually stand for something and care about people." Juniper says, average person online, have you seen what the race scientists said about him? Average New Yorker. Oh my God, it's Zohran Mamdani. And Prem Thakur here saying, there's straight up no one as genuinely well liked as this guy in American politics, despite or really because of his radical approach. And everyone else in American politics is demanding you see him as dangerous, and maybe you can see how the first part explains the second. They did the same thing with Bernie Sanders, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. They've done it with others, Cori Bush, Jamal Bowman, on and on. They try and frame these individuals who are fighting for working class issues as dangerous, when the reality is they're only dangerous to those currently in power.